Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Saw Ultimate Jigsaw figure from NECA. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks great, and yeah, I'm looking at both versions, obviously, both the red robe and the black robe version. And I will say that, like, from the promo photos, I didn't know exactly how this was going to look in person, and even seeing it initially in person, I was kind of like, those face sculpts are off. But I will say they do look better in person. It's still a little more cartoony, I think, than NECA usually does for their sculpts and paints. But it still reads as Tobin Bell, so it works. Beyond that, like, I think the silhouette is pretty much perfect. They like captured the stature of obviously John. So yeah, no, I think they did a really good job here. And not only that, but like soft goods look great, and technically an accessory, but I mean, like anyone's gonna display this without the robes. The only difference really here is that, like, obviously we get red robes on the red robe version. Not only that, but the underneath is different, where red robe version, we do get kind of a red torso, and then we get black torso for normal version. And yeah, the underbody is just kind of like normal jeans, normal shoes, really nicely painted. We get the eyelets painted in silver, so that's very nice. The body underneath, let me see if I can do this without any issues. So I'm gonna pull off the hands, and it is a bit of a hassle, I think, to get the soft goods off, and that's because oh, it is working, so that's good. The shirt's kind of bulky. I don't know why they did this. So as you can see, the sleeves are super bunched up here at the end, and that bugs me because it's really hard to get some of the hands in. It just, I don't know why they wouldn't just go with like flatter arms. I might try to find a way to kind of like change this from the elbow down, because like overall it's great, but and the movement is definitely good, and we'll look at that later. But yeah, just it's more of a hassle than it needs to be with the undershirt. So yeah, that's the thing. But overall, definitely a good looking figure. We get a fantastic loadout of accessories here, and they are the same between the black robe and the red robe, only differences being the color of the robe. So there's that. So starting off with hands, right out of the box, we do get these open, kind of clawing, posed hands. Then we get a pair of fists. And finally, we get a right gripping, like really wide gripping hand. And that is for one of the other accessories, which is the little tape recorder. And I shudder to think how many people don't even know what this is, because this has been obsolete for a very long time. And I very much remember these. Great details as well, like really nice kind of deep silver. Even the gold there for the tape reels looks fantastic. Little punch of blue going on there. Then we get the back with the battery panel, etc. So really nice piece. And obviously this just kind of fits in there. Nice and snug too, like isn't going anywhere. So really cool. Then we get some, I guess let's look at the robe itself. And yeah, we get this robe, really nice, honestly. Just really nicely sewn, fits the figure perfectly. Just got a little bit of fabric, Velcro, pardon me, right there. Not only that, it's pretty much fully lined, which is really nicely done. We even get some wire here in the front, so you can get a little bit more dynamic with that if you want to. I really like that they kept the collar up here, and then we've got the hood, which is also wired around here and towards the back, so you can kind of manipulate that as you need to, which makes it lay nicely too in the back. So fantastic touches, really happy with that. And then we move on to, different head sculpts. So we do get, you know, kind of his first appearance. So, you know, with a full head of hair, and done decently. The hair, I think, probably could have had a slightly darker wash, just kind of bring out the details a little bit more, but overall pretty good. Definitely better than I thought it was going to be from seeing the promo photos. Then we get his shaved head look. I believe this is from 2 on. It's been a while since I've watched the whole series. That definitely owe a rewatch, but again, looks definitely decent, better than I thought it was going to. So very nice sculpt, decent paint, so good all around there. And then we get the pig mask. This is awesome. This is what made me really, really excited for this figure. Great details all around. So you can see kind of the darkened eyes, little touches of yellow around the eyes as well, stitched mouth, even the pieces around here at the bottom kind of look like it was torn off of something. So, or pig, obviously. So really cool there. And then we get the nice sculpt with the hair as well. Then we also get, there's so much with this figure. We do get the wrist blade that we've seen in a couple of the movies. You can see the springs down here, just this singular silver, like bright silver color, fits on either wrist, which makes me happy. Just really cool. Then we get the reverse bear trap, and obviously there's a lot of potential for this with photos and just other 1/10 scale figures. So really nice details all around, great sculpt, good paint with that kind of olive drab meets brown sort of look to it. So yeah, really cool. I'm excited to see kind of what figures this fits on. Then finally we get Billy the puppet and his tricycle, and this is awesome. Billy's kind of its own figure. It's definitely articulated. So we get the tricycle. The tricycle is kind of straightforward. You know, the wheels move, basic colors, mainly colored plastic, pardon me. So silver, red, and white, and the black. So there's that. And then Billy himself is losing his leg. So that's great. Try and get that back on. So the legs are on ball joints, so I can kind of move around. We do have swivels at the feet, nice glittery shoes as well. Love that they did that. Arms articulate normally, kind of like a NECA figure, like a full-size NECA figure. We get ball joints at the wrist, so we get some nice movement there. And then just rotation at the head. But the details look fantastic. Like the face sculpt the face sculpt and paint are just dead on, exactly what they should be. So really nice addition. Really cool to see that level of detail and care went into that. And yeah, that will do it for accessories. Articulation balance here are actually definitely very nice. I'm trying to focus as I'm talking. There we go. The dark clothing, for whatever reason, it just makes it harder for me to shoot reviews with my lighting, but I digress. Yeah, freestanding kicks, actually not too bad to get into. There are some points I want to talk about. The first thing I want to say before I even pose this or start talking about the articulation is that this feels more like the older plastics that NECA was using, where they feel kind of brittle and you have to superheat them to get them to move. You know, some parts aren't as bad, like the torso, but like I broke an arm on the red one, and the torso of the first black robe one I got completely just twisted off, and yeah, that sucks. So not happy about that. So definitely be careful and superheat these, like boiling water heat them. But in terms of the articulation, we do get a barbell coming from the neck into the head. The head is on a ball joint coming into the body, and not a terrible amount of down, but we get an insane amount of up and tons of tilt and rotation. So it can go a lot of places, just not quite as far down. That's just because the way the chin is sculpted. So there's that. We are hinge and swivel at the shoulders, bringing us to pretty much perfect T. I get a rotation there obviously as well, though it is tight. We get double jointed elbows, however, they don't really move unless really heated up, because I can get the first one to move. The second one, I don't really feel like pushing. They kind of come in, but yeah, I'm not gonna push it because I don't want to break another elbow. So there's that. So I kind of wish they had gone with single joints here. And again, I might do some surgery and remove the bottom parts of the arms, try to find a figure that is compatible and just replace it with that. We get hinge and swivel at the wrists. We get a ball joint at the diaphragm, a ball joint at the waist. So you get about that much crunch. Some really nice arch back, some great tilt, and a rotation here at the top and at the bottom. This is a different one, the one that didn't break, obviously. So you can definitely go around, but be careful if you feel any resistance whatsoever there. Because I couldn't even, there's not really even enough space really to get some shock oil. So worth noting. Hips, full splits, positively beautiful. No reason for John to be doing that, but it works. We get front kick pretty much up to 90, beautiful. We get thigh swivel, Single jointed knees bring us not quite to 90, unfortunately, but I'd still rather have it than breakable doubles. We get a little bit of side to side rotation from that as well. Then for the feet, not a terrible amount of point thanks to the jeans, not a terrible amount of forward, but we do get some decent rocker, which allows for some nice, more dynamic posing. So that will do it for articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other NECA horror. With some domestics. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally, with our articulated icons Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Saw Ultimate Jigsaw figure from NECA is that this is a really solid figure all around. Great soft goods, just pretty much perfect accessories. Articulation's really nice. However, again, I've got to say, like, I'm a little disappointed that it feels like they're going back to the older plastic that they used to use, because this definitely felt more brittle. It requires a little more care to handle, definitely a lot of heating up. And I think I've just been kind of spoiled by their TMNT output lately, because all of that has been pretty much perfect right out of the box. Not 100% obviously, but like so much better. And this feels kind of like a step back in that regard. However, everything else is pretty much what I wanted. Proportions are great. Likeness is definitely better in person. And yeah, just so much good stuff. I really do like these figures. I love that they led with the red robe version, because that was one of my kind of like high hopes. Didn't think we were going to get it as the initial reveal. It was a Target timed exclusive, and now it's available in various locations. I'm pretty sure. I know the black robe version is. So, you know, I wish you the best of luck in picking up yours, showing up on retail shelves and online. So yeah, that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. And if that's the case, hope to see you back here, because I do many reviews like this every week, especially here during October. I just do a whole bunch of horror or horror adjacent figures. So if that's your thing, come on back. Let's talk about some beautiful plastic and just escape the world for a while. But really, at the end of the day, I just hope that you're well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true. And most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.